Hello, my brothers and sisters. You all know who it is by now. It's your favorite next door entity from the reality just over the horizon. I missed all of you. I missed all you guys, man. Been gone for a minute. You know how it is. Gotta take care of some extracurricular activities in the other realms. But I'm back. Here we go. And on this 38th video. Where will I start today? Well, first, I want to just touch on something somebody sent me yesterday. I'm not going to give this brother's name out for privacy reasons. He might not want people to know, but you know who you are. You sent me a mail, and this particular brother of ours was telling me about he was sunbathing nude in his backyard, chilling, taking in that information from the sun and absorbing it all in. And basically, he had this image, according to him, burned into his eyelids, he said. It was like a symbol. And he had the symbol kind of like burned into his eyes, according to him. And he thought about it. And he went and wrote it down. I think like a day later, didn't think too much about it. Then a day later, he thought about it, wrote it down, drew it out, and then typed in symbols on the computer. And, that seems like work in itself. So he expected not to find anything. And, excuse me, it turns out that he found it was the alchemical symbol for magnet, the meaning of magnet in alchemy. And according to him, he's never seen this symbol before. So the next day, he had another symbol burned into his eye from the sun. And it was another symbol dealing with alchemy, I believe. This, and also, he said while he was sunbathing, a bird actually landed on his leg while he was out there chilling and meditating. That's what he was doing. He was meditating, taking in the sun. Naked, which is nothing wrong with that. That's what we should be doing anyway. So meditating naked if possible, and taking in all that information from nature. And the bird landed on him, and he received this information. So, yeah, he wanted to know my take on it. Information is information, man, and all this information is all over the place, spread throughout the universe, the galaxies, all realities. So, yeah, I say, what do you think about it? And this is my message to you, brother, the one who sent me this. What do you think about it? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to. I'm really happy that you asking me, like, what's my take on it? My take on it is, it could be whatever you want it to be. Take pride in the fact that that was a moment where you were open and you pulled in this information. Even though it has to do with alchemy, still you pulled in something that you didn't know. And that's just the mysteries of the universe, basically. When you start pulling in information, that things that you've never even seen before, things you had no knowledge of before, and you start pulling this in, you, excuse me, every time I get on here, man, my throat started acting up. I think the, I don't want to say elders, but my partners in the other realities might not want me talking about it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, man, somebody probably going to come knocking on this door in a minute, seeing if I got trash in this room. All right, I'll worry about that when it happens. But anyway, so yeah, you can, I say just roll with it, man. See whatever you want it to feel. See what you feel about this. See, the thing is, when we get this information, we can't get too caught up on, I'm not saying that you're doing this specifically, but a lot of people, like, they'll get trapped on, oh man, it was an alchemical symbol. So, then they'll start digging deep. And it's good. Do your research. Check it out. But don't get stuck there. Don't become like, all right, so this is a symbol from God saying that I have to get deep into alchemy. It can mean that if you want it to mean that, but I'm simply just suggesting that just take it as one of your channels that were open. And you picked up that information, you brought it in. That's just a sample, a taste of the infinite and things that you can do on your own time, anytime at will. So that's cool, brother. That's cool that you tapped into that and you was able to pull that information and notice the trend. I think the most important part of the story was that this person said not only was he meditating, not only was he naked, not only was he doing this under the sun, but a bird landed on him. And then boom, he got this image. So in nature, everything had its own consciousness signature. Everything in reality had its own signature. I would also say like code, kind of. So everything in existence has its own form of energy that we translate into familiar symbols. So just for an example, like when that bird landed on you, you got an alchemical symbol, but everything is a distortion so that we can understand it. So that could have been this bird trying to communicate with you, or something within that moment point that you were in, trying to communicate with you, and you translated it into this alchemical symbol. It could be anything, man. So just go with your heart and use those inner senses and figure out for yourself what it means, because whatever it means, it has a deep meaning, especially just for you. And now you got a mission to find out, why did you get that alchemical symbol that you've never seen before, and why did you translate that coding into that? Something to think about. You know what I'm saying? Damn, man. Excuse me. Hold on a minute. Sorry. I'm at work, as y'all know. Probably have suspected. I'm not at the Hilton Hotel or nothing. But anyway. So where was I? Yeah, back on that symbol. Well, that's about it. That's all I got to say. So I'm really happy that you shared that story with me, man. And yeah, feel free to share more stories with me in the future. But like I said, to summarize for you specifically, hold up. When these problems arise, you need just a moment. Hi. Yeah. Clean trash out around this time. Anyway, sorry for all these disturbances, man. You know, I'm over here in Japan and shit, man. Water. Best thing you need when the body requests it. That's right. Anyway, getting back down to where we was at. What have I been doing? Well, that is the $1 million question, folks. That I always ask myself that anyway, too. What have I been doing? Me? I'm all around the place. I'm jumping throughout the universe, the multiverse, the innerverse, all over the place. I'm exploring all the time. And as I always said before, that's why I make these videos, because I want you all to remember what you are, because you're supposed to be doing the same thing. Once again, to repeat, there's no sleep. You know that already. And we're not human. That's true too. But basically with me, as I said before, I don't... Man, these words are so confusing, man. I guess I could say, when I go to bed, because that seems logical, practical to say that. I don't sleep, but I do go to bed and lay down. So I'm going to put it like this. When I go to bed and go into my deep meditation state, because that's what it is. Basically, what we call sleep is a deep deep trance state, basically. So when I go into my deep trance state and rest my body for the moment, I go into a whole nother time frame. Well, actually, there's no time. But anyway, so just for example, the other day I'm chilling. I said, all right, had enough of this physical reality shit, man. Time for me to get out of here. Closed my eyes, and boom, jumped off into another reality, which was a very nice alternate universe of Manhattan, basically. And it was like Lower East Side, Soho. So I'm chilling, and it was a beautiful sunny day. There was people out. Everything was going on. Before that, I was in a building, and what happened, man? Some jive-ass entity came at me, man. I don't know what was going on, but I think I got a bounty on my head and shit, man, in the other realms. Seriously, man, because like sometimes I cross over. I know I talk a lot of trash before on other videos and things, but a lot of times, man, I just want to relax and chill. But sometimes, man, when I cross over, there's a few entities and stuff, man. Could be of my own manifestations as well. They be out to get me and shit, man. So I end up in this building at first. I'm chilling. And this big, muscle-bound dude comes out of this apartment, you know, huffing and puffing, eyeballing me and shit, man. So I'm like, what's up with him? And he's with this woman who's doing the same thing. So, you know me. I'm not going to go into detail about what I did to them, because it gets pretty graphic. But let's just say I handled them as I saw fit. And little telekinesis action. All I could say is there was some involvement of flying out windows, dropping into alleys, heads exploding, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I'm just joking. But yeah, I took care of these two. And then I flew outside this building into this Soho area. So I'm chilling, man. And for research purposes, I saw these two beautiful women, so I decided to engage in a little sexual activity in public with these two women. But the reason I said for research purposes was, it really was for it really was for research, y'all. It was research, because I wanted to see how far my abilities have gone. So I was able to make love to these two women without and maintain my consciousness at the same time. In the past, it was, you know, I'll make love or do something sexual, and that excitement will pull me out of that reality and bounce me back to my body, especially right before climaxing. So I was able to maintain this reality with these two beautiful women, finish with them, and it was amazing. I was still in the reality. Nothing has shifted. So then I was looking at all these people walking around. It had to be about, I don't know, 100 people or so. And I decided to try out some other abilities of mine. And there was one that worked so beautifully. It was like, I was so proud of myself. I was like, wow. Basically put my hand up. Did I put my hand up? I don't know. I probably did. I don't remember. I like using my hands for stuff. But basically, what happened was I froze time completely on purpose. So I just froze everything. Everything just went frozen. Birds were frozen in the air. People were frozen. Cars were frozen. Everything just froze as if someone put pause on a DVD right in the middle of an action sequence. And from that point, then I used telekinesis, and everything that was frozen, I basically just used my power to lift it all up. So like, just example, all the people crossing the street, the birds, the cars, I used my telekinesis to like raise them all gently up off the ground. And I thought, interesting. This will come in handy at some other point. And I set it all back down, set everything back into place, and then I unfroze it. And everything went on like nothing had happened. And I thought, yeah, that is what I'm talking about, man. So I'm just telling you all that, just giving you hints of the possibilities that you can reach if you do your training. So yeah, completely freezing. I don't want to say freezing time, but I would say freezing the moment point is a useful thing to do, and I've used it many times since that experience to great effect. So yeah, that's what happened, and then from there, so basically, what I wanted to say before was, I keep saying basically, I spent the equivalent to a whole day at this place, and every night when I travel, this is what I'm experiencing. I would have the span of a whole entire. There's no time, so I don't want people thinking in terms of like day, meaning going from daytime to evening. But to make it simple, let's just say I'm in these realities for expanded periods of time with no break in them, really. So a sequence, just say equivalent to if you go out all day and hang out, I'm doing the same thing in these other realities. So I'm chilling. I meet this guy, man. This dude comes up to me on a bike. He's like, yo, man, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, I make videos. He's telling me that he makes videos on YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's really cool, brother. And I'm like, well, I make videos too. So I'm writing down, I was like, yo, man, check out my site, my videos. I write down Seth Dark Arts on this piece of paper, give it to him. He's like, yeah, this is cool. So then he invites me to a place. Like, you want to go hang out for a minute, have a drink or something? So I'm like, well, I don't drink, but yeah, man, I'll go hang out, check out this place. So we go check out this place, and he's on a bike, like a messenger bike. He's trying to get to the crowd of people. You know me, I'm flying. So I said, all right, well, let's go. So he's on his bike. I jump up in the air, and I'm flying. And he couldn't really get through. These people, like hundreds of people in the way. So I kind of just used my telekinesis power to make an opening through the people so he could just go through. And I felt good about that. So I flew through above head. We landed at this little cool restaurant, man. We were chilling. And when we get inside, you got this bartender. It was funny because the bartender was Leonardo DiCaprio. It just goes to show you how these realities, man, anything is possible. I'm not a Leonardo DiCaprio fan. I don't think about Leonardo DiCaprio at all, ever. But here he was in this S&M kind of like weed smoking cafe, which was a really cool place. It had a nice vibe. So he's chilling behind a counter, and I'm looking at him consciously, and I'm like, hey man, how you doing? Because I'm like, thinking to myself, wow, this thought form or this image, this entity has taken the form of Leonardo DiCaprio. And that's funny for me because I don't care about Leonardo DiCaprio. Not like that. As a person, he's nice, but yeah. So I'm like talking to him and shit. I'm like, what's going on, man? What you got going here? What kind of place is this? And they're like, he's like, telling me. Indeed, he's like, oh yeah, it's kind of like S&M, place, and people could smoke if they want. I'm like, that is cool, man. So he serves the guy that brought me here some dinner. It's like some curry rice or something. He's eating it. He's like, you want to try it? So I took a bite. It was actually very delicious. And I was like, well, that was good. And then this lesbian couple comes in, these two women, and I'm like, oh, how y'all doing? And they're like, yeah, we're fine. Can we get a room? And I'm like, well, we got to talk to him. I know this doesn't sound so exciting, but the reason for me telling you this is just trying to give you a feel of how regular this reality seemed. I mean, it had its own system. Sometimes, you go to realities that are just completely shifting. Everything's not out of control, but just there's no stability. It's changing from moment to the next, one moment to the next, going all around. But in other times, you have to pay attention. You may end up in realities that are very good replicas or alternate dimensions of other real realities on this side of the gate. So, yeah, man. Now, see what else I got going on here. Been doing a lot of teaching in the other realms. A lot of teaching. Yeah, I've been holding many classes in the other realms, teaching other entities about what's going on, how to use their abilities, the nature of reality on this side of, because they don't know anything about this side. I said this before. The same way how a lot of people are curious about what's going on in these other realms, the astral realm and all this shit. These cats on the other side, this world that I'm in right now, that you're in watching this video, is just as puzzling and confusing. A lot of times I've met entities in other realities where they are just as lost as a lot of people. They're like, wow, people can fly, and that seems unrealistic. You got others where they can't understand the limitations that go on here. So yeah, man, back on the other side, when we get there, we can't fly, and they're like, well, that's fucking crazy, man. You guys can't fly. I'm like, yeah, well, right now I can, but when you're back on the other side, and that so-called physical reality, man, the place is fucking crazy, man. People got governments, they're fighting race wars and shit, man, terrorism. So I'd be explaining this to them, and for them it's hilarious because it's like, man, you guys are sick. It's a big joke. This reality, it's like I said this many times, it's good, but this reality is also one of the biggest jokes in other realities because of all the crazy shit that we manifest here, man. Most people don't even know they're doing it. A lot of people just cut off from their own power, which is most of the planet. So they do crazy shit. All right, I'm going to share a little knowledge with y'all. Get some things down here. Last time we talked, what did we talk about? I think it was fallen angels or something like that. Hold on, let me see here. I got a picture of it up. I was talking about death. Are you ready for death? I hope I didn't make a lot of y'all depressed about that, man. I don't say those things or make those videos to try to make y'all feel bad. I just tell you how it is, man. Get y'all ready for what's coming. Because it might come tonight for you. Just keeping it real, man. Shit. There's no guarantee you're going to make it home tonight. There's no guarantee you're going to wake up in the morning. So you better get right and get ready. But, all right. Let me see if I write anything down. I get information all the time, man. I get a lot of information that comes from so many other realities. So a lot of times I don't tell you guys about a lot of stuff because I'm not saying that you can't handle it, but it's so far out there. I'm not saying it's not valid, but it'll take a long time to just get into detail about it. So I leave a lot of stuff out sometimes because it's like, well, if I try to make a video about that, I'll be talking forever, man. And my videos are already long, so I'm like, if I try to explain that concept, shit, man, I'll be here for a month. But, all right, what do I got down here? All right, got that. Language, we have the form image. Okay. Well, one thing was about organization. Just give you a different points here. One, I wrote down that any organized group is simply a collection of entities with the same belief. What I meant by that was, I think I went into this before about how you have different families of consciousness, and these families of consciousness, they group together, man. So when you look at politics and government, that's the politics and government consciousness. That's why they have that world. They create their own little unique world, and they all stick together. They all play by those rules. Unfortunately, they try to force those rules on the rest of us, but it's just a group. You got the science consciousness, people who so-called scientists and want to call themselves scientists. There's no such thing as scientists, but whatever. More power to them. They group together. Adult movie stars, porno actors, actresses. That's their consciousness. They got that sexual consciousness. They group together. Whatever people want to say about whether it's good or bad or whatever, it's not up to us to decide. People make their own decisions. But we have to, if we're in the realm of all possibilities, we have to be open to the possibility that a lot of those people want to do that. That's what they want to do, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's their choice. I made a video a long time ago, and someone got on me about, a lot of those people abused and they had sexual trauma when they were younger. Yeah, that might be true, but we can't say that for every single adult actor, porno actress out there. I think a lot of them just like fucking, and they get paid for it. So, yeah, don't throw stones, man. Don't throw stones because we've all got our own little things going on. Funny thing, a lot of people that trash porno, those porno people should be put away. Those are the same perverts looking at that shit, including me. I'm just kidding. I'm not. Oh, you gotta keep it light, gotta keep it funny, man. All right, so let me see what I got here. All right, so we got using language. All right, I got that. Now, everything that could possibly ever happen is actually happening right now at this very moment. If it isn't, the slightest act of you imagining it, it's simultaneously manifested within one other probable system of reality. I may have mentioned that before. I hope I'm not repeating myself, but if I didn't, I apologize. Basically what I meant by that is everything's happening now, man. So everybody's coming to me. They're like, oh, how can I get to these other realities? I can't get out of body. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm like,